Welcome back to NC Bassin. Today I just put in at Blythe on Lake Norman at the very bottom of the lake. It's warmer down here. They had a big tournament down here last week, 20 pounds won. I mean, that's a huge bag for Lake Norman, but it was probably curled up in the cold water. But I need to learn how to catch them down here. There's a tournament Sunday, and I'm thinking about taking off work just to fish that, get a practice with kayak fishing. But you have to put in at Blythe, and I've not been catching them down here. I actually came last week and forgot the GoPro, and you guys didn't miss anything. Because I fished down here till 1 o'clock. I caught 4 small ones. Actually did catch one on topwater, first topwater fish of the year. But all day I kept thinking they're probably, the wind was southwest wind, blow wind. I was like, they're probably killing up at the 150 bridge at Pinnacle. Put in there, got there about 1:30. Thought for sure they were going to bite. Fished there till 5 o'clock. Did not even get a single bite up there. The watercolor was perfect. I just don't know what was going on last week. Conditions seemed just right. The fish just weren't biting. Damn, I'm going to try to figure out something. I mean, I've been here for like 2 hours trying to let the fog lift. It's a little sketchy with the kayak in the fog, but I still haven't got a bite. I thought for sure I can catch some around the ramp. All those fish got released in the tournament. I thought maybe I'd catch a couple around here. You bring this cold water fish down here to the south. Water temp, I heard the water temperature like 61 at the boat ramp. So these fish are thinking about spawning down here for sure. There's a hot water discharge down here, guys. That's why the water's so warm. Everybody's asking me all the time, like, how are fish spawning in January? This water's really warm. These fish are weird down here. And the water is so clear. You can see 8 feet down easy. I mean, it makes it tough to fish. I can't catch them power fishing really, but I did get one on topwater last week. Hopefully I can catch them on topwater, but I might have to finesse fish. I brought 3 spinning rods. Might be a wacky rig fluke kind of day, but hopefully I can catch them power fishing. Let's see how it goes. Oh, dude. Finally. Decent fish. I went 4 hours without a bite, guys. It's 10:30. Had to go to the hot hole to get one. It's not a bad fish, actually. On the shaky head. This guy just had to come in and swamp me. I mean, that's a 16, or at least a 16-inch fish. Maybe 16 and a half. It's actually a nice one. They get these crazy dark colors in the hot hole. That's actually a nice fish there. Well, that fish is only 1.7. I thought he was at least 2. It's something. I just hate finesse fishing. You gotta be skinny. Down here in this clear water, you gotta finesse fish. You can't really power fish down here. That's what I kind of hate about it. I was almost thinking about putting in a different ramp. Can't tell in this current if they're decent or not. It's tiny. Not big at all, but I'm glad I'm getting bites finally. Reel them up too high in the kayak to flip them. I'm sure this water's 70 degrees up here. Maybe not. There's not a lot of current. I'm using my normal 3/16 ounce shaky head, and it's dragging the bottom. Normally this would just be flowing down. Kind of need a 1/2 ounce up here when the current's really flowing. That's when the fish are biting though. A little more shallow. Trying to block the camera, guys. It's hard in the kayak. It's actually a decent one for not biting. Thought he was a lot smaller than that. That fish is full of something. Eggs or shad. It's probably a 15-inch fish. Gotta get a board so I know for sure. Once they get over 15, I really don't know the length unless they're real big. I usually just measure the ones that are close to being a keeper. God, I got hung up on that before too. He's on there. He's just got me under something. Oh, come off. Yes. I know I felt my line going out. It might be decent fish, actually. Definitely not. He's just hooked on top of the head, outside the mouth. That's how he was able to run. Look, I hooked on top of the head. He's probably on a bed on that pole, but he had it by the tail. If I only a fish away from the hot hole. I'm not very far from the hot hole, but I know I can catch him over there, but I'm trying to find a different pattern. I mean, it's not even really fun fishing over there, just dragging a shaky head really slow. There's a few boats over there too, but I'm trying to find them somewhere else. Bait. Didn't even feel that fish. He was pulling me against the post, and then I felt him. Little tiny guy. Little. Oh damn. Oh my God! Big largemouth. There's one. God dang, I should want to pull me around a pole. That's not even a pole, that's brush. He's still on there. There we go. He's tiny, that's the only reason I can get him out. Well, just lost like a 2.5 pound largemouth that was probably on a bed because he just bit it and took off with it. Probably why I didn't have him hooked good either. Barely hooked this guy too. He took off with it also. These fish, yeah, his fins are a little beat up. He might just be about to spawn. I mean, these fish might just be pulling up to think about spawning, even though this water temperature's like 70 degrees back here. But it could already be on beds, I'm not sure. Wish they'd bite something besides a wacky rig and a shaky head. Well, glad you missed that. Had a nice spot over here, wrapped around the pole, but he got off for me. God, I just seen a 3 pound largemouth cruising over here too. Well, I guess I got a wacky rig fish these fish. He was right where he should be on the walkway. And he took off with it. That's why he got me wrapped on the post because I didn't take the hook. He's not even that big. He was jumping. I was thinking he was going to be a nice largemouth. He's really not big at all. Hook him around a pole. I feel like they're 3 pounders every time. It's a long fish though. Can't catch a real fish down here. Just dinks. God dang, there's a... God, I've seen a big spot cruising and I hooked this guy. I just seen a 5 pounder over here, guys. No lie. When I was hooked on that rope, a 5 pounder. This is a well-known dock. They feed the ducks and the catfish. I've already seen 2 big channels out there. One of them I thought was a big bass. I got right next to that 5 pound largemouth. It was fat as can be. It had to be from up north. I don't think it was on a bed either. So I went back to it and it wasn't there. Here's a little guy. Maybe I found something down here. Every fish I've seen takes off. They will not bite. I had one coming at my wacky rig a minute ago. And he seen me and he left. I thought he was on a bed. That's a chunk actually. That's about the same size as the one I seen right here cruising. They are dirt shallow. But if they see me, they're not biting. It's so flat down here anyways. You can't find any nothing over 5 feet deep to fish, unless you have a graph. I don't have a graph. Water is crystal clear. It's probably the female of that one right there. Oh, that one's way bigger than this one. There he is again. He is cruising for a reason. Oh, there's one of those big catfish. For a second, you think they're a bass. Another 1.7. Nothing big. Perfect. There's one. Oh, good largie. Oh my gosh. Stay hooked up this time. Get away from the pole. No. It's got me on the pole. Yes, got him off. Good largemouth. Knew this was dredged perfectly. I mean, he's nothing like that one I seen, but finally. God, they're strong in this warm water. Is this a football? It's not big at all. He's just fat as can be. Yes, sir. That's one of the right ones there. Man, that gives me confidence to come back here. Definitely giving me some confidence to come back here. Yes, that fish has got to be over 2. On the wacky rig. Got lucky to get him around that pole. Dredge dock where he should have been. Man, I had him pinned so good. That's the only reason he stayed hooked. He jumped straight out the water. Right in that hard spot. He's built like a up north fish. Small mouth and just fat body like a High Rock Lake bass. That is a chunk. I about bet money he come from up north, but there's probably some largemouth down here that are fat. I'm just guessing the water temperature down here is in the high 50s. It's cold, but it's like 60 degrees. This definitely feels way colder than the air temperature, but it's hard to just guess with your fingers. But hopefully I gave me a little clue. I'm finding some nice fish back here. They're just not very active. They won't bite. They're just cruising. Like they're thinking about spawning probably. Well guys, that's the day. I fished from 6 to 6. Really tried to get a pattern going. My GoPro died about 3. I caught a couple. Alex caught a couple. He actually gave me a catch for it, which I really appreciate. He gave me his old catch for it, and now I can actually do the real Queen City tournaments. I was practicing for a little small tournament. They moved that day, and that's good anyways. I kind of want to get my feet wet in a kayak tournament because I never took pictures of fish or even really, I just understand how it works, but I've never had to do it. But the Queen City tournament, I'm going to take off work for that because I'm really pumped for that. I mean, it's a big tournament. Those guys are hammers, and it's going to be really tough to win, but Norman's my best lake, so if I got a chance to even compete, Norman's probably the best place. I wish it was a different time of year, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. I got a couple weeks to get a good plan going. If you guys got a kayak and you want to do some tournaments, that's a great trail to do. You guys should come to Norman and fish that. I mean, Norman is a great place to catch fish in the winter. It's one of the best lakes in the winter around here for sure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on NC Bass.